Okay, class. The study the study population, like I said, you will need to describe your participants. You will need to state when you are going to carry out the research, the place you are going to carry out the research, and the people you are going to use. Then you need to state the people you'll be including. And the age is very, very important. You cannot be studying hypertension and you go and pick a boy who is 6 years old and say, I'm studying hypertension. No, for hypertension, it's an age-related condition. The more you age, then you become hypertensive. You cannot say you are going to study, conduct a study on prostate cancer, and you go and recruit women. Women, they have a rudimentary prostate called the Skinner's gland, which is so small that it cannot be enlarged and to block their urethra, to block their urinary tracts. So you don't choose women for prostate studies. You choose men, and aged men, not younger men. So you look at the type of people you need to include, and they are called participants, respondents. We call those you are going to use in your study are what called participants or respondents, and you exclude those who are having emergency care or having an at-risk pregnancy. If you are going to conduct a follow-up study, like a longitudinal study, you will take a specimen from baseline, then you follow these people up to see when they develop a condition, then you take their sample again. Some of the people will say that the money you are giving them is too small, so they will not be part of the study. So with such people, we will lose them to follow up. So we call those things losses to follow up. Losses to follow up, or loss to follow up. You start the study with them, you promise them big. When you promise them big, you didn't deliver on your promise, so they will not come again. Some of them through migration, they will migrate to another place, or they will get a job opportunity somewhere, so they cannot be part of your study again. So we call it losses to follow up. So such people, you need to exclude them. So the study population, do not confuse study population and study sample. A study population is the total of all the individuals who have certain characteristics and are of interest to a researcher. So if I want to work in children, then my study population is all the children who are in the case ward of Upper East Regional Hospital. Then my study sample is that out of these children, in the case ward we have children from 1 year to 11 to 11 and a half years or so. Not up to 12. For 12 years going, you are an adult, but 1 year to 11, almost 12 years, you can admit them in the case ward. So all the children in case ward are qualified for me to include them in the study. And out of these children, my interest or my sample is a subset of all the children. I'm just looking for children who are having malaria in the case ward of Upper East Regional Hospital. So if you have sickle cell, you don't have malaria, you are out of my study. So I will exclude all children having other conditions like sickle cell, neonatal infections or sepsis. Neonatal is even out because the neonates are in the neonatal intensive care unit or the NICU. So I will exclude children with sickle cell, children with GCPD, children with urogenital tract infections, children with enteritis. I will exclude them. My interest is children who have malaria. So all the others are excluded. Then, so the children with malaria are a subset of all the children in the case ward. So the children with malaria becomes my study sample. I will also ensure that the study population is suitable to address the objective. So my study population should be in line with my research objectives. So how do I sample? The type of sample to be used. So sampling, you need to sample your participants. Whether it is a thesis research you are doing, student research, or you are drafting the proposal, you need to state your sampling method. We have the parametric, please allow me to write over here. We have the parametric and non-parametric sampling and non-parametric. I guess you can all see sampling techniques. I guess you can all see.
Yes, please.
Okay, so there is a parametric and non-parametric sampling. So, we have the probability. It's rather probability and non-probability sampling techniques. So with the probability sampling techniques, you sample the participants based on the fact that your data is having a normal distribution. It follows the Gaussian rule. So that one, we have the random sampling, we have the systematic sampling, we have the cluster sampling. Then those that do not follow normal distribution, your data, if you have 2 here, you have another participant, if you have one participant is having HB of 8, another participant is having HB of 100, hemoglobin of 100, another is having hemoglobin 1000. They are outliers. So you see that your data does not follow a normal distribution. Your data is scattered. So with this one, you use a non-probability sampling. Imagine you are doing a research, and with this research, you want to have people coming. You just want to select people, and the people are not coming. So you go for non-probability, like the convenient sampling. But if the people are coming plenty, then you go for what? Random sampling. So we'll be doing sampling too, so you will understand later. Okay, so the sample size is very important. If you have a smaller sample size, the reviewers or peer reviewers will throw your paper somewhere. You can't even publish, because in the whole Bolgatanga we can have about 7 million people staying in Upper East region. And you go and do a study and you pick only 100 people. And the condition you are looking for has a very high prevalence. And the condition is very, it's not scarce. The condition is common, like anemia, like malaria. And you go and pick only 50 people and do this. And the study is not also expensive. So you pick only few people and you do this. Your study finding, nobody will believe your study finding. Your study finding, there will not be any statistical significance in your study finding. And somebody will also go into that same locality, Upper East region, and pick about 1,000 people. Investigate about 1,000 people, and you pick only 100 people, and you are saying that you don't have money, your study was not funded. Somebody will pick 1,000, and that person picking the 1,000, we are going to believe in their finding, because whatever they do will be representative of the general population. So sampling size, you can calculate sample size using software or formulas. Then you provide references for the study. How are you going to collect your data? So you list how you are going to collect it. Our midwife is going to collect for you. Our doctor is going to collect for you. Are you going to do field work? Show how it will be collected. What are the instruments you'll be using to collect? Are you going to use questionnaires, abstraction forms? And when you collect your data, are you going to run the test, full black count and others in order to collect your data? Data collection instruments are questionnaires, abstraction forms, structured observation guide, interview guide. Data can be analyzed using data analysis. You enter your data in Excel. You use software like GraphPad, Metcalc, and SPSS to analyze your data. You record your findings, describe your data. Then you make sure that you now find, or you now juxtapose your research findings to what is happening, and you analyze your data and know whether it answers your alternative hypothesis. Then this is the ethical consideration. You need to go to the IRB, whether Navrongo Research or anywhere, to pick your ethical approval. You have to ensure in the ethical approval, you have to ensure confidentiality. Don't go and put anybody's name there in your data and say Auntie so and so is having HIV from your research. This woman, popular woman who is an MC or an MP, an MP's wife is having HIV, they will sue you. Then you maximize the benefits of the research. Let them know that the research will benefit them. You have to compensate those who are collecting the data for you and the participants whom you are collecting the information from. Buy them yogurt or calipo. Then you have to seek their permission, and that is what we call informed consent. If you want to carry a procedure on them, if you want to draw their blood samples, ask them whether they are ready for you to draw or whether they don't want you to draw. Then it will. Then so you state all this in your ethical consideration page, and make sure that you ensure confidentiality and everything. Then you state your references. I've shown you the timeline already. I've shown you the budget already. Then you also state whether state the expected duration of the study in your timelines and the type of compensation you want to give. Then also, if you are sending it to go and sending your proposal to a funding agency, you have to specify the amount of salary you want to be paid. Your travel should be catered for. You going to America to go and do your lab work, or go and do presentations, or go and do whatever. You need to state how much you want the funding agency to give you. Then the equipment they should buy for your research. Maybe your research, you are coming to carry out a research in Upper East Regional Hospital, but they don't have a flow cytometer. So you need to state the price of flow cytometer so that the funding agency can provide you with that money or resources. Okay, so without much ado, we've come to the end of today's lecture. Any questions whatsoever? Any questions? Any questions?
Yes, please, sir.
Okay, so I'm marking Roko, Adoma Latif.
Yes, sir.
Adoma Latif is here.
Yes, sir.
I know I can trick you people. Awini,
Sir, I'm also here with Adoma Latif.
Awini Abel is here. Agbeko Robert is also here. I started with eight students, and I'm left with 3 students. So
sir, Inusa is here. Sir,
I don't care.
Sir, I and Inusa, you are using the sir.
So put your video there. The one who is standing with Adoma Latif. I want to see you and who? Who is Adoma Latif?
Sir, this is Adoma Latif. Adoma Latif.
The two of you are all Adoma Latif.
No, this is Inusa. Inusa and Adoma Latif.
Inusa and Adoma Latif. So
yes, sir.
Adoma Latif and Inusa. Okay. Awini Abel, you are with who? Awini Abel. He has put the phone even somewhere. Okay. Mr. Abdullah.
Yes, sir.
Are you alone?
No, I'm with Elvis just left. I was with Elvis and Abudu.
Oh, stop. Elvis has gone to sleep somewhere. I say,
No.
are you, what is, Abdullah, what is your name?
My name is Aburi Akbaru Abdullah.
I'm seeing Amazon Sparky.
Oh, no. It's just that this is the Gmail name.
Amazon Sparky.
Hello?
So that is
Hello,
for
sir.
Abdullah, eh?
Hello, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm Abdullah.
Awini, you don't worry. You have put the phone somewhere because you are chatting with your wife. Agbeko Rabbit. Agbeko, let me see your picture. Your go to your video.
Myself.